You've spent much of your life giving to your family, your work, and your community. And while that's a beautiful thing, it can leave you feeling worn down and disconnected from yourself. Maybe your space feels cluttered, your day's too busy, or your mind too restless. But what if the answer isn't doing more, but doing less? With more care. What if peace and clarity could be found not in something new, but in something timeless? Today, I'll share 10 simple but powerful habits from Japanese culture. These are not trends. They are gentle, proven ways to bring more calm, purpose, and joy into your daily life. You don't need to change everything. Just begin with one small shift, because it's never too late to come back to yourself and to the life that truly matters. Let's begin. 1. Kansha, the gratitude that grounds you. Let's begin where all meaningful change begins, with gratitude. Kansha is a Japanese word that means deep appreciation, but it's more than just saying thank you. It's about truly seeing the small blessings in your everyday life. The warmth of your coffee mug in the morning, the sound of birds outside your window, a call from a friend who remembers your favorite stories. These aren't just moments, they're quiet gifts. In Japanese culture, gratitude is woven into daily life. Before each meal, many people say, "Itadakimasu," a phrase that means, "I humbly receive." It's a moment to pause and honor the effort behind the food, the farmers, the cook, even the hands that set the table. You can bring kansha into your own life starting today. Each evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller and simpler, the better. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already enough. In a world that often tells us to keep chasing more, kansha gently reminds us to appreciate what we already have, and in doing so, we begin to feel whole again. 2. Usauji, the spiritual art of cleaning. Cleaning might seem like a chore, but in Japanese tradition, it can be a ritual, a way to reset not just your home, but your heart. Usuji means big cleaning. Every December, Japanese families take time to deeply clean their homes, not just to tidy up, but to symbolically clear out the old year and welcome the new one with fresh energy. It's not rushed or stressful. It's thoughtful. It's healing. You don't have to wait for the end of the year to practice usuji. You can start with 5 quiet minutes today. Choose one small space, a drawer, a desk, a shelf. As you wipe the surface, breathe slowly. Notice how your body feels. Let your mind settle as the clutter clears. This habit isn't about perfection. It's about presence. When we clean with intention, we make space not just on our shelves, but in our thoughts. A tidy space can become a calm space, and that calm can carry into everything you do. What's one small corner of your home you could gently clear today? Not to impress anyone, but to give yourself a breath of peace. 3. Ma, welcoming peace through space. Sometimes, the most important part of a room is the part that's empty. In Japanese culture, there's a concept called ma. It refers to the space between things, the quiet pauses, the open corners, the silence between words. While many cultures tend to fill space as quickly as possible, ma invites us to honor it. It says, space isn't empty, it's meaningful. Look around your home. Are there areas filled with things just to avoid a blank spot? Maybe a shelf with too many objects, a wall packed with photos, or a schedule packed with to-dos. What if those empty spaces were not mistakes, but moments of rest? Ma teaches us that peace is often found in the spaces we leave untouched. A clear surface can give your eyes and mind a break. A quiet hour in the day can offer time to breathe and reflect. When we stop cramming every inch with sound, stuff, or movement, we make room for calm. You don't have to strip your home bare. You only need to become more mindful about what fills your space and what doesn't. One bare wall, one silent morning, one empty chair you keep unfilled, just for stillness. This isn't about doing less to have less. It's about doing less to feel more. 4. Wabi-sabi. Beauty in the imperfect. We live in a world that often celebrates perfection. From magazine covers to home renovation shows, everything is edited, polished, and carefully filtered to appear flawless. But life, as you know, is not perfect, and it's not meant to be. That's where the quiet beauty of wabi-sabi comes in. Wabi-sabi is a Japanese philosophy that invites us to embrace imperfection, impermanence, and the natural wear and tear of life. It reminds us that cracks, wrinkles, and faded colors are not signs of failure, but of richness and time. A chipped teacup, an old wooden table with scratches, or a favorite sweater that's a little frayed, these are not things to hide or throw away. They are evidence of use, memory, and love. They tell your story. There's a beautiful art in Japan called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired using gold or silver lacquer. Instead of hiding the cracks, the repairs are made visible and honored. The object becomes more beautiful for having been broken and put back together. It's not just mended, it's transformed. Now think about your own life. The stretch marks from childbirth, the lines on your face from years of laughter and tears, the moments when your heart broke but you kept going. These are your gold-filled cracks. They're not flaws. They're a part of your beauty. Wabi-sabi teaches us to stop chasing an impossible standard. Instead, it asks us to slow down, to notice the quiet charm of things that are weathered and real. It invites us to appreciate what is, just as it is. There's great freedom in that. Freedom to stop pretending, stop comparing, and start embracing your life and yourself more fully. 5. Shokunin. Finding mastery in the everyday. In Japan, the word shokunin refers to a master craftsman, someone who dedicates their life to perfecting a single skill. It could be a woodworker, a sushi chef, or a ceramic artist. But being a shokunin is not just about technical ability. It's a way of living, with care, with purpose, and with deep pride in doing something well. Here's the beautiful part. You don't have to be a traditional artist to live with the shokunin spirit. You can apply this same mindset to the smallest tasks in your day. Making your bed in the morning, washing a dish with attention, writing a kind message to someone you care about. These might seem like ordinary actions, but when you do them with focus and intention, they become something more. They become rituals of presence. In Japanese culture, it's not uncommon for a craftsman to spend years mastering one detail, like the perfect way to slice fish, or how to pour tea gracefully. It's not about rushing or multitasking, it's about presence. The idea is that how you do anything is how you do everything. Now imagine if you brought that energy into your own life. You fold a towel slowly, neatly, with care. You brew a cup of tea, not while checking your phone, but while watching the water boil, feeling the warmth in your hands, inhaling the steam. These tiny shifts in attention begin to change the texture of your day. You may be retired or working less than you used to. But that doesn't mean your days have to feel less meaningful. In fact, this season of life gives you the space to reconnect with presence, to find depth in the simplest acts. So here's something to reflect on. What is one daily task you usually rush through that you could instead approach with the quiet pride of a shokunin? 6. Ichigo ichie. This moment only happens once. There's a beautiful phrase in Japanese, Ichigo ichi. It means one time, one meeting. But its meaning goes deeper than the words. It's a reminder that every moment we experience is unique and will never come again in quite the same way. Think about it. That smile from your grandchild today? The breeze that came through your window this morning? The sound of your favorite song at just the right time? Each of those things happened only once. Even if they repeat in some form tomorrow, they'll never feel exactly the same again. Ichigo Ichi comes from the Japanese tea ceremony, where every meeting is treated as sacred. The host prepares with care, and the guest receives the tea with gratitude, because they both understand this exact moment will never happen again. So how does that apply to your daily life? It means slowing down, looking into someone's eyes when they speak to you, tasting your food instead of just eating it, listening to the birds outside rather than just walking past them. It means treating ordinary moments as if they were rare and precious, because they are. We live in a time where it's easy to miss things. Screens steal our attention. Thoughts about yesterday or worries about tomorrow pull us away from right now. But Ichigo Ichi calls us back. It says, "Be here. This is the only time this moment will ever happen." You don't need to make every second dramatic. You just need to notice it. That's where meaning lives. 7. Shinrin Yoku. Let nature heal you. Sometimes the most powerful medicine doesn't come in a bottle. It comes from the rustling of leaves, the scent of pine, the sound of birds overhead. In Japan, there is a practice called Shinrin Yoku, which means forest bathing. But don't worry, it doesn't involve water. It means immersing yourself in nature with your full senses, letting it wash over you, clear your mind, and calm your spirit. In our modern world, it's easy to forget we are part of nature, not separate from it. We spend most of our time indoors, surrounded by screens, cement, and artificial light. But our bodies remember the trees. Our hearts remember the quiet of the earth. And Shinrin Yoku reminds us to return to that connection. You don't need a deep forest to experience it. You can practice Shinrin Yoku in your backyard, at a park, or even by an open window. The key is to slow down and notice. Don't treat it like exercise. It's not a hike or a walk for steps. It's a chance to simply be. Step outside, turn off your phone or leave it behind. Let your feet move at half their usual pace. Feel the ground beneath you. Listen closely. What sounds do you hear? The breeze, the chirp of a bird, the hum of life around you? Smell the air. Notice the colors, the greens, the browns, the soft shifting of light through branches. Studies in Japan have shown that just 20 minutes in nature can lower cortisol, the stress hormone, significantly. It can reduce blood pressure, slow the heart rate, and even boost your immune system. Doctors there sometimes prescribe time in the forest as a treatment, not just for anxiety, but for physical health as well. And beyond the science, there's something deeply human about reconnecting with the natural world. Nature doesn't judge you. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't demand anything from you. It simply welcomes you back, as you are. So whether it's 5 minutes or 50, give yourself that gift. Let the stillness of the trees help still your mind. Let the rhythm of nature help settle your breath. Let it remind you that life doesn't need to be fast to be full. 8. Danshari, the freedom of letting go. Letting go is never just about getting rid of things. It's about making space for peace, for presence, for the life you actually want to live. In Japan, the practice of Danshari teaches exactly that. It goes deeper than simple decluttering. It is a philosophy, a way of life, and a pathway to emotional freedom. Danshari is made of 3 parts. Dan means to refuse what you don't need. Sha means to dispose of what no longer serves you. And Rai means to separate from attachment. Together, these ideas help us break free, not just from physical clutter, but from the mental and emotional weight we carry without even realizing it. How many items in your home are there simply because of guilt? That expensive sweater you never wear but feel bad giving away? The books you should read, but never really wanted? The boxes of things that remind you of people, places, or parts of your past that are no longer here? We hold on, sometimes because we're afraid of forgetting, sometimes because we're afraid of change. But Dhanchari reminds us that memory doesn't live in objects. It lives in your heart, your body, your spirit. The love is still there, even when the object is not. Letting go can start with just one item. Pick something today that no longer serves your life as it is now. Hold it. Acknowledge the role it played. Say thank you, even silently, and then let it go. This is not about throwing things away in a rush. It's about honoring the journey, then choosing freedom. And freedom is exactly what Dhanchari gives you. With fewer things, there are fewer decisions to make, fewer distractions, less stress. You stop managing stuff and start enjoying space. You start noticing what truly matters. The light coming through your window, the way your shoulders relax when the room feels calm, the breath you take without pressure. As you let go of the unnecessary, you create space for clarity, for peace, for the present moment. And in that open space, something beautiful happens. You begin to feel lighter, clearer, and more in touch with who you really are. So ask yourself gently, what is one object or one old belief you could release today to make space for something more meaningful? 9. Kaizen. Progress, one small step at a time. So often, when we think about improving our lives, we imagine big changes, clearing out the whole house in a weekend, starting a strict routine, or making a complete shift overnight. But the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen offers a much gentler, more sustainable path. Kaizen means continuous improvement. It's not about leaps and dramatic overhauls. It's about making tiny changes, one step at a time, consistently, with care and intention. In Japan, this idea transformed entire industries, like Toyota, where every worker was encouraged to make small suggestions for improvement each day. Over time, those small steps added up to massive success. But Kaizen isn't just for companies. It's for you too. Because even at home, even in your personal life, that 1% improvement every day can lead to transformation over time. Maybe that means drinking one more glass of water today, or walking for 5 extra minutes. Maybe it's finally sorting through that one drawer that's been bothering you, or simply going to bed 15 minutes earlier. These might feel small, but over time, they create habits. And habits shape the way we feel, the way we live, the way we see ourselves. The beauty of Kaizen is that it removes pressure. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to begin, and then keep going, slowly and steadily. For those of us who've lived a long life, we know real change doesn't always happen in a single day. It happens in the quiet decisions we make repeatedly over time. And with Kaizen, those small decisions are acts of care. Care for your body, your space, your peace of mind. So don't be discouraged if your progress feels slow. In fact, slow might be exactly what you need, because slow is steady, and steady is strong. 10 Motenai. Respect what you have. In a world that's always urging us to upgrade, replace, and consume, it's easy to forget how much value already surrounds us. That's where the Japanese concept of motenai comes in. At its heart, motenai expresses a deep sense of regret when something, anything, is wasted. Time, food, objects, energy, even kindness. It's a way of living that honors resources, relationships, and the efforts that brought them into our lives. Motenai is often taught to children in Japan from a young age. They're reminded to eat every grain of rice in their bowl, to reuse wrapping paper, to repair their school supplies instead of tossing them. But this idea is far from childish. It's profound. And it carries even more meaning as we age and look back on the things we've built, owned, and loved. You don't need to live without, to live with respect. Motenai encourages 4 key values: reduce what you consume, reuse what you can, recycle what's no longer useful, and most importantly, respect everything in your life, including yourself. Think of the items in your home right now. That sturdy old chair that's a little worn, but still cradles your back perfectly. The sweater with one loose thread but years of warmth woven in. The pan you've cooked 100 meals in. These things deserve care, not because they are expensive or new, but because they have served you well. And it's not just about objects. Motenai can also be a way of looking at your time, your energy, your attention. Are you spending them on things that truly matter? Are you letting precious moments slip through the cracks because they seem too small to hold on to? When we begin to live with Motenai in mind, gratitude grows, waste shrinks, and life starts to feel less like a race and more like a relationship with the world, with others, and with ourselves. So before you toss something away, pause. Could it be repaired? Could it serve someone else? And even if it's time to let it go, can you thank it first? Why these habits matter more as we age. When we're young, life is often about striving, building careers, raising families, keeping up with everything. The pace is fast, the pressure is constant, and most of the time, we're just trying to keep it all together. But something shifts as we grow older. We begin to understand that time is not endless. Our energy becomes more precious. We care less about impressing others and more about finding peace within ourselves. And it's in this season of life that these Japanese habits begin to shine, not just as lifestyle choices, but as deep wisdom for the soul. Take Danshari, for example, the art of letting go. When we're younger, we accumulate. But as we age, it becomes clear. Our homes, like our hearts, need room to breathe. Letting go of objects, old roles, even old expectations, creates empty space for what truly matters: presence, connection, and ease. Or, think about Kaizen, tiny improvements, day by day. When we're young, change often feels dramatic, even chaotic. But in later life, we can begin to trust the power of slow growth. A little more movement, a little less clutter. One small habit that says, I'm still growing, I'm still learning. And that is a beautiful thing. Ma and wabi-sabi become more than design ideas. They become spiritual truths. Empty space isn't lonely anymore. It's peaceful. Imperfections aren't flaws. They're proof that we've lived fully, laughed deeply, and weathered many seasons. Even gratitude, kansha, takes on new meaning. We begin to savor the little things: a warm blanket, a favorite song, the way morning light hits the kitchen table. We realize that joy was never in the grand moments, it was in the small ones. Waiting to be noticed. These habits help us live not with regret for the past or fear of the future, but with grace in the present. And as we begin to live this way, we don't just add years to life, we add life to our years. So perhaps the real question is this: what kind of life do you want to grow old into? And what small habit today could gently lead you there? You don't need to start over to feel at peace. You don't need to do everything perfectly to live with meaning. These Japanese habits we explored today, they're not just ideas. They're invitations. Invitations to slow down, to let go, to look around, and to live with more care in each small moment. Whether you try just one habit or all 10, the most important thing is this: you begin. Begin with presence. Begin with kindness, especially toward yourself. You've come through so much. You've given so much. Now it's your time to receive, to breathe, to enjoy the beauty in a simpler, gentler way of living. And if something in today's video spoke to you, if it brought comfort, inspiration, or just a sense that you're not alone, I would love to hear from you. Truly. Scroll down and share in the comments. Which habit are you curious to try first? Or which one already lives quietly in your life? If you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. This is a space where we explore wisdom, mindfulness, and meaningful living, especially for those of us in our wiser years. And I would be honored to have you as part of this growing community. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, peace often begins with just one quiet, thoughtful step.